So if you're pregnant, chances are you've been told to snack on nuts, right? I mean, they're everywhere. They're that go-to healthy choice, absolutely packed with protein and all those good fats. It really seems like the perfect, simple food. But what if that simple snack isn't quite so simple after all?
Yeah, you heard me right. Could that perfect little snack actually come with some hidden risks? That's exactly what we're going to get into today. Let's break down why this super simple food choice can get, well, surprisingly complicated when you're pregnant. So what's really at the heart of all this? To put it simply, pregnancy kind of rewrites all the rules. Your body is running on a completely different operating system now, and foods you've trusted for years, they might not be on the approved list anymore.
Just think about it for a second. Before pregnancy, your body was pretty predictable. You knew what worked for you, what didn't. But now, a huge surge of new hormones can trigger totally unexpected reactions to foods you eat all the time. Foods you've loved for years, like nuts, can suddenly, out of nowhere, become a problem.
Okay, let's peel back the first layer here, allergies. Now, this might seem a little obvious, but there's a really crucial pregnancy-related twist. Even if you've never, ever had a nut allergy in your entire life, you might not be totally in the clear.
And out of all the nuts out there, peanuts are the #1 culprit here. They are the most likely to trigger a new or totally unexpected allergic reaction during pregnancy, and sometimes it happens without any warning at all. So what are the red flags you should be looking for? Well, a personal or family history of things like asthma, eczema, or really any other allergies automatically puts you in a higher risk category. If that's you, it's probably safest to just avoid peanuts entirely while you're pregnant. The potential for a reaction just isn't worth the risk.
But here's the thing. Even if your family history is totally clear, your body is still in uncharted territory. And this is where moderation becomes absolutely critical. As our source material points out, eating a huge serving of peanuts could be the very thing that uncovers a sensitivity you never ever knew you had.
But it's not just about allergies. Nope, some nuts have other little tricks up their sleeves. We really need to talk about some hidden compounds and a few surprisingly uncomfortable side effects. Let's take walnuts, for example. We all know they're amazing for you, but in large amounts during pregnancy, they can lead to some pretty serious digestive upset. That fiber that's usually so good for you can cause a lot of bloating and gas, which, let's be honest, is the absolute last thing you want to deal with.
Gas and bloating are one thing, but now we've got to talk about something way more serious. Certain types of nuts actually contain natural compounds that are genuinely toxic, especially when you find them in their raw, wild state.
The compound we're talking about is called amygdalin. Now, it is so important to be crystal clear here. This is not found in the sweet almonds you buy at the grocery store. We are specifically talking about bitter almonds and the kernels from wild apricots.
So why is this compound so dangerous? Well, the process is terrifyingly simple. When you ingest amygdalin, your body metabolizes it, and it converts it into cyanide. Yes, that cyanide. It's an incredibly potent poison, which makes these specific nuts an absolute no-go during pregnancy.
Okay, so we've covered allergies and we've covered toxins, but the most widespread risk is one you will probably never see coming. It's a danger that can affect any nut, even the ones we think of as being completely and totally safe.
So, what is it? What is this common danger that could be lurking in your pantry right this very second, completely invisible to the naked eye?
The answer is mold. And the scariest part? It doesn't just grow because you stored them wrong. Microscopic mold can start to grow on nuts while they're still being processed, long before you even buy them. You can't see it, you can't smell it, but it could be there.
This invisible mold produces a really potent toxin called aflatoxin. It's especially common on peanuts, and look, it's dangerous for anyone, but it is especially harmful during pregnancy for both you and your developing baby.
So, where should you be looking? Well, that's the whole problem. A lot of the time, you can't. It literally hides in plain sight. It could be in that bag of nuts you stored in a damp corner of the pantry, on nuts that look perfectly fine, or even growing in a jar of peanut butter that's been open for just a little too long.
Okay, I know. After all of that, you might be ready to just throw every single nut in your house straight into the garbage. But don't worry, the goal here isn't to scare you, it's to empower you. Knowledge is power, right? And now we can talk about a simple safety checklist to protect yourself.
So, how do you fight back against this invisible threat? Well, it all starts at the store. Buy your nuts from a place with high turnover to make sure they're fresh. Then, at home, you can take an extra step and gently dry them on low heat in your oven. This part is key because it removes the moisture that mold needs to grow. And finally,
and this is non-negotiable. Store them in a completely airtight container. These simple little habits can make all the difference in the world. You know, the biggest takeaway here is that even the healthiest foods deserve a much closer look when you're pregnant. We've seen how a simple nut isn't always so simple, and it really makes you wonder, what other healthy foods sitting in your kitchen right now might be hiding their own secrets?